Hey, what's going on, guys? It's John back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to teach you guys an exercise that you can use with the 2-5-1 chord progression while also utilizing the whole tone scale. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so by now all of you know what a 2-5-1 chord progression is, so we're not going to get too deep into the weeds on that. But what I will do is show you the whole tone scale, and essentially you have two different variations of the whole tone scale. You have what I like to call the C whole tone scale and the F whole tone scale. Okay, and so the difference between these scales is literally depending on which note you start on, because this scale only uses whole steps. No matter what note you start on, you can only use whole steps. Okay, there are no half steps in this scale. So if we start on C, if we only play whole steps, we get C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C. Okay, and if we start on F, we get F, G, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, F. Okay, and either of those will work. And this particular scale is what you would hear if you heard like a dream sequence on a sitcom or something like that. It would probably sound something like this. Okay, and then that was the C whole tone scale. So I'll come back down the scale using the F whole tone scale. Okay, so that is what the whole tone scale is. So how is this going to work with our 2-5-1 chord progression? So essentially we're going to have two loops, all right, because we have two scales. This is going to have two separate chord progressions. So there's going to be one chord progression where we are literally going to play a succession of 2-5-1s while moving backwards from our whole tone scale. And let me explain that for you. So let's say, for instance, we start in the key of A flat, right? We're going to do a 2-5-1 in the key of A flat. Okay, 2, 5, 1. Okay, when we get to the 1, instead of playing a major chord, we're going to make it minor. Okay, and this minor chord now becomes our new 2 for our new key. Okay, and the way how you can tell what the new key is that once I make this minor, if I move down a whole step, my new key is G flat major, right? So now I'm going to do a 2-5-1 in the key of G flat, right? But instead of playing a major chord, I'm going to play minor, right? And now this becomes the 2 for my new key. Everybody knows that F sharp minor is, or in this case, because I haven't changed the key, G flat minor is going to be the 2 in the key of E. So now I'm going to do a 2-5-1 in the key of E. Okay, so that's how we're going to go with this. We're going to go and do successions of 2-5-1s moving backwards on the whole tone scale. We're going to start with the C whole tone scale, all right? And then we're going to do the same thing, but in the F whole tone scale, okay? Now, these scales can be named kind of ambiguously because it all depends on what note you start on. I tend to call one the C whole tone and one the F whole tone because quite literally those are just the anchor points for me in those particular keys. So you can call it what you want. I call it the C whole tone and the F whole tone. But at any rate, let's jump into this. All right. First thing that I'm going to do is show you the voicings that I'm going to be using for these chords. A lot of them are going to be pretty similar, but I like to always show you guys a little bit of the voicings that I'm using in these chords so you can grab them and put them into your vocabulary. So in the key of A flat, this is going to be my 2. All right. And here's the voicing. I have my 1 in my left hand, and then in my right hand, I have the minor 7, 3, the minor 7, the 9, the flat 3, and the 5. Okay? 1, minor 7. Here's the 9. Here's the flat 3. And here's the 5. Okay, just so you guys can see it in root position, here's what it would look like in root position. B flat minor, 1, flat 3, 5. I'm taking my 1 and moving it down to the minor 7. And then I'm adding in the 9th right here. That's how you get the 9th. My 5 chord is literally taking this A flat and moving it down. That's all I'm doing. And then of course I'm on my 5. So now if I break this down, I have my 1 in the key of E flat. G is my 3rd. Okay. This D flat makes it a dominant 7. This F makes it a dominant 9 chord. And the C makes it a dominant 13 chord. So I'm playing an E flat dominant 13. Okay. Then I'm going to my 1 major chord. All right. And this major chord is a major 9 chord. And I have my 3 and my 5 here. I got my major 7 and my major 9 right there. All right. Now remember, when we get to our major chord, I'm actually going to make it minor. Okay. Very similar voicing that I had for the B flat. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this all the way through once. I'm going to go down the C whole tone scale. Okay. We're going to hit the key of A flat, G flat, E, D, C, B flat, ending back on A flat. And when we get all the way back around to A flat, I will end on the major 9 chord for that key. All right. So let's go ahead and play through it. 1, 2, 3, and... And that was the entire loop, right? Now you can get very fast with this and kind of run that loop pretty quickly. But essentially that is really taking you around half of the keys already. And the cool thing about this whole loop is that it's infinite. So you can continue to move through this loop without stopping, okay? And what this is going to do is not only develop some of this shape memory for you, but it's going to allow you to get comfortable with maybe chords that you're not comfortable with, okay? And you don't necessarily have to use the voicings that I used in this video. You can do this with basic triads. If you're practicing your triad, you can do this with major 7 chords, minor 7 chords. You know what? We're doing 2-5-1, so a lot of them are going to be minor chords and dominant chords, but you're going to be able to basically input any type of voicing that you want or inversion of these chords that you want and loop them around. So now you have a way to not only practice these things, but you're also practicing them in a way that's musical, and it's also taking you around basically a tour of each key so you can kind of get a feel for how those different 2-5-1s sound. And the cool thing is that if you're having problems in one key, you can actually stay in that key by, instead of changing your 1 chord to a minor chord, make it major and continue to do a 2-5-1 in that key until you're comfortable. And when you're ready to move to the new key, make your 1 minor again. Right, so I can demonstrate that real quick. So I'm going to do a 2-5-1 in the key of A flat. And let's say, for instance, I'm not comfortable in the key of G flat. So I'm going to stay in the key of G flat for a little while. And then when I feel comfortable, I'll move out of that key into the next key. And I want you guys to hear how seamless this is. Okay, so we'll start in the key of A flat. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and... I think I'm comfortable now, so on the next one, I'll change it. I'll try that again. And this particular time, I ended in the key of B flat. Okay. And so this is a really great way for you to kind of kill a lot of birds with one stone. I mean, you can get through a bunch of different chord voicings, you can get through different keys, and when you are in a key that you're not comfortable in, you can literally loop it, and then when you're good and ready, you can loop yourself right out of that key into the next key and go on to the next one, okay? So let's do the same thing, but this time we're going to use it utilizing the F whole tone scale, okay? So there's a couple of more notes inside the F whole tone scale. So we have F, G, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, back to F. And in this particular case, I will start in the key of F. So I'm going to start in the key of F, and quite literally, my next key down is going to be E flat to C sharp to B to A to G, leading back to F. All right. So let's play around with this for a little while. See how smooth that was? Let's do it one more time. Okay, I was using a lot of chords and stuff in there, but what I really want you guys to see is that it's literally taking me around the keyboard. Okay, and now one last thing that I want to show you guys is something that's really cool that you can do is that you've heard me say in a couple of my previous videos that you can always use the 5 of a key to move to a different key. So let's say, for instance, you're really comfortable with your F whole tone scale, and then now it's time for you to move to your C whole tone scale. Well, if you are, if you don't understand how to change keys, you might think, okay, well, I just need to stop practicing this one and then just go practice in the other scale. But you can actually do this seamlessly by using the 5 chord to pivot to the new key. Okay, and if you look at it this way, the key of F can change easily over to the key of C. Okay, and you can use the 5 chord to do that. So if I'm in the key of F and I'm doing a 2-5-1, all right, if I wanted to change to the key of C, one thing that I could do is use the 5 of C in order to make that change. So we can do something like a 2-5 in the key of F and then do the 5 of C to get to my 1 and then make it minor. Right? So we can do that. So let's do that again, right? So we're in the 2, we're going back to the key of F. We're going to do a 2-5 and then the 5 of C to the 1. Okay. Another thing that we can do is that we can do, let's say 2-5, we can do the 5 of a completely different key that works for us. So let's say we want it, instead of going to the key of C, we want it to go to the key of, let's say, A flat again, right? Key of A flat. So F, go to the 5 of F, and then we go to the 5 of the key of A flat to get us to the key of A flat, right? So let's do that again. In the key of F, 2, 5, then we're going to go to the 5 of A flat to the 1, and then we can do our 2-5 in the key of A flat. Now we're back in the C whole tone scale. Make it minor. Okay, so using the 5, you can actually pivot into these in and out of each of those keys. Okay, so that's it for everything in this video today. If that was a little bit confusing for you guys, just kind of rewind it, take it slow, really understand what I'm trying to say for you guys, because this video is definitely not for beginners. It's something that you can use if you're trying to get yourself out of the rut of not really understanding the layout of the keyboard, or you're trying to figure out these different chords and how to move between these different chords. When you're learning new chords, it's really important that you find different mechanisms that will help you to move through these chords smoothly, and not just move you through those chords, but move you smoothly from key to key throughout the keyboard, because those different voicings are going to look different depending on the key that you're in. Okay, but if you guys do have any questions, concerns, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what you want to see next. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see some more content. But that's going to be it for this one. You guys take it easy, be blessed, get in the shed, and get to work. Take it easy.